Hello and welcome to Mimi Leaks. Today I'll be reading a lawsuit brought by the Southern District of New York, and it's my first read. It's the indictment of two Russian nationals in their efforts and alleged successes of manipulating Tenet media commentators for the purposes of influencing the American media. And I'm an English language native speaker. I struggle a bit with the names and cities and locations in the indictment, but I'm going to try my best. 31-year-old Kostiantyn Kolashnikov and 27-year-old Elena Afanasyeva, referred to in the indictment as Kostya and Lena respectively, are charged with conspiracy to violate FARA, or the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Russian state broadcaster RT, or Russia Today, orchestrated a massive scheme in which Kostya and Lena worked to funnel money to Tenet media with the goal of shaping the opinions of Western audiences. RT has faced cancellations and sanctions in the United States, Europe, Canada, and the UK after Russia's invasion into Ukraine, which federal authorities allege led the company to create covert methods of influencing the public. Tenet Media is an online media company, and according to Tenet themselves, their heterodox commentators focus on Western political and cultural issues. Though the indictment does not name the US-based company, that said, the details in the indictment match up perfectly. Tenet Media is Tennessee-based, and as with the indictment, Tenet's website lists 6 commentators, specifically Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, Lawrence Southern, Taylor Hansen, and Matt Christensen. Since the indictment, Johnson tweeted that he and other influencers have been victims of this alleged scheme. Poole echoed this sentiment. Should these allegations prove true, he said, we were deceived in our victims. In addition, YouTube has since removed Tenet Media from their platform. As far as the charges, Kostya and Lena face conspiracy to violate FARA, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. If convicted, a federal district court judge will determine any sentence after considering U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I appreciate any shares and credits. Now let's get started. United States of America versus Kostiantyn Kolashnikov, aka Kostya, and Elena Afanasyeva, aka Lena. The grand jury charges and introduction. RT, formerly known as Russia Today, is a state-controlled media outlet funded and directed by the government of Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, RT was sanctioned, dropped by distributors, and ultimately forced to cease formal operations in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the European Union. In response, RT created, in the words of its editor-in-chief, an entire empire of covert projects designed to shape public opinion in Western audiences. One of RT's covert projects, as described herein, is its funding and direction of a Tennessee-based online creation company, US Company One. Over at least the past year, RT and its employees, including Kostya and Lena, the defendants, have deployed nearly $10 million, laundered through a network of foreign shell entities, to covertly fund and direct US Company One. US Company One publishes English language videos on multiple social media channels, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Using multiple fake personas, Lena edited, posted, and directed the posting by US Company One of hundreds of videos. Many of the videos published by US Company One contain commentary on events and issues in the United States, such as immigration, inflation, and other topics related to domestic and foreign policy. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, The subject matter and content of the videos are often consistent with the government of Russia's interests in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core government Russia interests, such as its ongoing war in Ukraine. Since publicly launching in about November 2023, U.S. Company One has posted nearly 2,000 videos that have garnered more than 16 million views on YouTube alone. U.S. Company One never disclosed to its viewers that it was funded and directed by RT. Nor did U.S. Company One or its two founders and principal executives, Founder One and Founder Two, register with the Attorney General as an agent of foreign principal as required by law. Kostya, Elena, Founder One, Founder Two also worked together to deceive 2S online commentators, Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, who have respectively have over 2.4 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. Founder 1 and Founder 2 contracted with Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 to produce videos using Commentator 1 and Commentator 2's own names and leveraging their existing audience for license and publication by U.S. Company 1. Kostya, Elena, Founder 1 and Founder 2 worked together to mask U.S. Company One's true source of funding, i.e. RT, by falsely portraying to the commentators that U.S. Company One was sponsored by a private investor named Edward Grigorian. In truth, and in fact, Grigorian was a fictional persona. For example, during contract negotiations, Commentator One requested that Founder One provide a profile or article on Grigorian. In response, Founder One sent the commentator one-page profile, provided to Founder One by another fictional persona purporting to represent Grigorian, falsely describing Grigorian as an accomplished finance professional who had held various positions in Brussels and France at a multinational bank, Bank One, including Director of Private Banking Division and Wealth Management. After receiving the fictitious profile, Commentator One agreed to work with U.S. Company One and produce approximately 130 videos that were published on U.S. Company One's platform. Background on Russian influence operations. RT is a Russian state-funded and state-directed media outlet. As RT's editor-in-chief has publicly acknowledged, quote, "Since RT receives budget from one state, it must complete tasks given by the state," unquote. For nearly 2 decades, RT has promoted the objectives of the government of Russia by publishing disinformation and propaganda, leveraging its international network to amplify the government of Russia's message to foreign audiences, and using its guise as conventional media outlet to lend credibility to that message. RT's propaganda is most obvious when it reports on matters of importance to the government of Russia, such as public opinion about Ukraine in the United States. When direct propaganda is not effective, however, RT has pursued malign influence campaigns in countries opposed to its policies, including the United States, in an effort to sow domestic divisions and thereby weaken oppositions to the government of Russia's objectives. For example, in discussing RT's coverage of the UK's exit from the European Union in 2016, an RT journalist recalled to an academic researcher, quote, "I asked my editor, what is RT's line for this Brexit? And he said, anything that causes chaos is RT's line," unquote. In or about March of 22, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February of 22, the EU, the UK, and Canada banned broadcasting by RT. That same month, RT had also ceased operations in the US after major television distributors dropped the network. But as RT itself had boasted, despite its post-March 22 bans on broadcasting and lack of formal distribution channels in the US, Canada, the UK, and the EU, the government of Russia continues to use RT to direct disinformation and propaganda at Western audiences. For example, on or about February 25, 2024, RT's editor-in-chief declared, during a Russian television appearance, that public opinion in the West is changing very rapidly and cheerfully, due to part to RT. RT's editor-in-chief further explained that despite being banished everywhere on February 25th, referring to the start of Russia's invasion in Ukraine, RT had built an enormous network, an entire empire of covert projects that is working with public opinion and bringing truth to Western audiences. As set forth below, U.S. Company 1 is one of RT's covert projects in the U.S. Background on certain individuals and entities. Kostya, the defendant, is a citizen of Russia and an employee of RT. She has described herself as the deputy chief of the digital media projects department for RT, is a member of an internal RT email distribution list reserved for leaders at RT, and manages multiple RT covert distribution channels in the United States, including U.S. Company 1. As set forth below, Founder 1 introduced Kostya to U.S. Company 1 employees and affiliates as a purported outside editor, and she edited U.S. Company 1's content without disclosing, without disclosing that he was working for RT. Okay, Kostya's a guy, my bad. Kostya also participated in an internal U.S. Company 1 messaging group comprised solely of Kostya, Founder 1, Founder 2, and an individual purporting to act as a representative of U.S. Company 1's investor, Edward Gregorian, but who was, in fact, a fake persona, Persona 1, as described below. In that messaging group, Kalashnikov monitored discussions of, among other things, U.S. Company 1's funding, hiring, and contract negotiations with the commentators. Elena is the defendant, is a citizen of Russia and an employee of RT. Elena has described herself on social media as a producer at RT dealing with overseas affairs and news. As set forth below, Kostya introduced Elena to U.S. Company 1 staff and contributors as a member of Kostya's editing team, and Elena's collected information and gave direction to U.S. Company 1 personnel on behalf of RT in that covert capacity. Kostya utilized multiple fake personas at U.S. Company 1, including Helena Shruda and Victoria Pesty. Hopefully that's correct. Founder 1 and Founder 2 are foreign nationals who reside in the United States. Founder 1 and Founder 2 jointly control and operate U.S. Company 1, and they are the only authorized signatories for U.S. Company 1's business checking account, which is going to be called the U.S. Company 1 bank account, which is held at a bank in the United States. Before operating U.S. Company 1 for RT as set below, the founders worked directly for RT and its affiliates, including as follows. A. From in or about March of 21 to in or about February of 22, Founder 1 created videos, posted social media content, and wrote articles pursuant to a written contract between Founder 1's Canadian company, which is going to be called Canadian Company 1, and RT's parent organization, ANO-TV Novosti. This content generally consisted of U.S. language social commentary. RT directly published some of Founder 1's paid work, while Founder 1 posted other of Founder 1's paid work on Founder 1's personal accounts, without attribution to RT. For example, Founder 1's invoices reflect that Founder 1 billed ANO-TV Novosti for approximately 217 videos, of which approximately 209 were published on Founder 1's personal YouTube channels. Founder 1 also wrote approximately 25 opinion articles that were published on RT's website, at least 19 of which Founder 1 billed to ANO-TV Novosti. None of Founder 1's articles disclosed that Founder 1 was paid by RT to write them. B. To create content for RT pursuant to Founder 1's written contract, Founder 1 worked with Founder 2 and two individual producers, Producer 1 and Producer 2, big shock, who later joined U.S. Company 1. RT invited Founder One to appear on RT television programming, created a dedicated page on RT's website by identifying Founder One as a contributor and featuring Founder One's articles, and provided an official letter on RT letterhead designating Founder One and Founder Twos as essential workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. In private correspondence, however, the founders recognized that truthfully disclosing their affiliation with RT made it more difficult for them to do business in the U.S. For example, in a July of 2021 email inviting a contact to apply for a job with RT, Founder One wrote that RT's budget is going to be larger, but acknowledged, "I know being Russian, some folks in the U.S. aren't too hot on them. LOL." As another example, in a private exchange on the messaging platform Discord in February of 22, Producer One told Founder Two that, quote, "When I was asking people if they wanted to interview, many said yes until I said I was with RT. So I switched to saying I was just working for Founder One," unquote. Founder Two replied, "Ha, not surprised." C. In their private correspondence, while working directly for RT pursuant to Founder One's written contract, the founders regularly referred to their sponsor, i.e., RT, as the Russians. For example, on or about May 12, 2021, Founder 2 messaged Founder 1 on Discord, quote, "Also, the Russians paid, so we're good to bill them for the second month, I guess," unquote. On or about June 2nd, 2021, Founder 1 messaged Founder 2 on Discord, quote, "Also, I say we bill the Russians for the last month once we're done with the extra op-eds," unquote, referring to Founder 1's paid opinion articles for RT. And on or about January 5th, 2022, Founder 2 messaged an acquaintance on Discord about paid leave that the Russians had offered to Founder 1. D. From in or about October 2021 to in or about May 2022, separate and apart from Founder 1's contract with RT's parent organization, Founder 2 also worked directly for RT and with Rupli Gimba, RT's subsidiary in Germany. I feel like that's a ridiculous pronunciation, so I'm going to just say Rupli from here on out if it comes up again. Founder 2's paid work for RT included, among other things, preparing English language text messages describing news events. During this time, Founder 1 and Kostya appear to have had overlapping business contacts. On or about May 18, 2022, a Rupli employee sent a Russian language email to 6 recipients, including Founder 2 and Kostya, requesting that they send their work email addresses to gain account access to Rupli's website. U.S. Company 1 is a United States corporation established under the laws of Tennessee. Founder 1 had described U.S. Company 1 as the U.S. subsidiary of Founder 1's Canadian Company 1, as set forth above. From in or about March 2021 to in or about February 2022, Founder 1 used Canadian Company 1 to produce content for RT pursuant to a written contract. Founder 1 incorporated U.S. Company 1 on or about January 19, 2022, and applied with the Tennessee Department of State to transact business under its current operating name, which Company 1 uses on its website and social media channels, on or about May 22 of 23. On its website, U.S. Company 1 describes itself as a network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues, and identifies 6 commentators, including 1 and 2, as its talent. U.S. Company 1 regularly posts videos featuring these commentators, as well as other videos that do not feature the commentators, across an array of social media channels, including YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. To support the production and publication of its videos, U.S. Company 1 employs 3 staff producers, Producer 1, 2, and a third individual, Producer 3, as a purported outside editing firm staffed by, among others, Kostya and Elena. Background on the Foreign Agents Registration Act. The Foreign Agents Registration Act, or FARA, or FARA, 22 U.S. Code 611, is a registration and disclosure statute that requires any person acting or agreeing to act in the United States as an agent of a foreign principal to register with the Attorney General if he or she is engaging or agreeing to engage, directly or through another person, in certain types of conduct for or in the interest of the foreign principal. Conduct requiring registration under FARA includes, as is relevant here, political activities, acting as a publicity agent or information service employee, and dispersing money for or in the interests of a foreign principal. FARA registrations are made to the Foreign Acts Registration Act Unit, the FARA unit, of the Department of Justice's National Security Division. It is a crime to willfully fail to register when required under FARA. The purposes of FARA is to prevent covert influence by foreign principals, which includes foreign governments, companies, and persons located outside the U.S. Proper registration under FARA allows the U.S. government and public and private audiences to evaluate the statements and activities of individuals who are serving as agents of foreign principals in light of their status as foreign agents. Among other things, FARA registration reveals the identity of a foreign principal on whose behalf the registration performs services, the types of services the registrant provides the foreign principal, and the source and amount of compensation the registrant receives from foreign principal. FARA registration statements are publicly accessible on the website of the FARA unit. In addition, FARA registrants are required to label informational materials transmitted within the U.S. with a conspicuous statement disclosing that the materials are distributed by the agent on behalf of the foreign principal. RT's covert operations through U.S. Company 1. Founder 1 scouts influencers for Edward Gregorian. In or about December of 22, Founder 1 began working with an individual operating under the fictitious name Edward Gregorian and 3 purported representatives of Gregorians, Persona 1 and the 2 additional purported representatives, Persona 2 and Persona 3, to launch a YouTube channel initially under the name Viewpoint Productions. On or about January 10th, 2023, Persona 2 told Founder 1 that Founder 1's first task was to find a personality that could serve as the face of the channel, and that, for the right candidate, were willing to pay around $1 to $2 million per year. On or about January 13, 2023, Persona 2 sent Founder 1 a proposed contract for Founder 1's influencer talent scouting services, which Founder 1 listed as the agent, and a Hungarian entity, Hungarian Shell Entity 1, listed as the client. Hungarian Shell Entity 1 has no publicly available website. In exchange for Founder 1's services, the proposed contract awarded Founder 1 $8,000 per month, plus a percentage of any deals that Founder 1 closed with influencers. Over the next several months, while Founder 1 continued to negotiate their contract, Founder 1 accepted interim payments and began to scout for influencers for the new YouTube channel for Gregorian. Beginning in or about February of 23, Founder 1 solicited Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 to perform work on behalf of Gregorian. For example, A. On or about February 6, 2023, Persona 1 emailed Founder 1 a list of short candidates for the YouTube channel, including the 2 commentators. In the same email, Persona 1 attached a receipt for $8,000 money transfer from an entity in the Czech Republic, Czech Shell Entity 1, to Founder 1's Canadian Company 1. Persona 1 requested that Founder 1 submit an invoice for their consultation services to the Czech Shell Entity 1, which Persona 1 described as a Czech sister company. Czech Shell Entity 1 has a website purporting to sell automobile parts, but also listing unrelated services. For example, Cyber Amore Suite, fortifying your digital defenses. The website makes no mention of Gregorian, Persona 1, Persona 2, Persona 3, Viewpoint Productions, or Hungarian Shell Entity 1. B. On or about February 6, 2023, Founder 1 told Persona 2 that Founder 1 had let Founder 2, quote, who I work with and who handles finances, know to get an invoice done, unquote. Founder 2 subsequently prepared an invoice for Canadian Company 1 to check Shell Entity 1, which Founder 2 transmitted to Founder 1, and which Founder 1 then emailed to Persona 1. In Founder 1's February 6, 2023 response to Persona 1, Founder 1 also advised they had reached out to Commentator 1 and will be speaking with him today. With respect to Commentator 2, Founder 1 cautioned that a contract would likely cost well over $2 million a year. The next day, on or about February 7, 2023, Persona 1 responded that Mr. Gregorian, misspelling the name of Persona 1's purported employer, Edward Gregorian, quote, was okay with over $2 million as long as we get the right person on board under the right conditions, unquote. Founder 1 agreed to contact Commentator 2 as well. On or about February 8th, Founder 1 reported to Persona 1 on Founder 1's outreach on the two commentators. Founder 1 also advised that Commentator 1 said that it would be closer to $5 million yearly for him to be interested, and that Commentator 2 said it would take $100,000 per week per weekly episode to make it worth their while. Founder 1 cautioned that, quote, from a profitability standpoint, it would be very hard for Viewpoint, i.e. the initial public-facing name of the new venture, to recoup the costs for the likes of the commentators, and based on ad revenue from web traffic or sponsors alone, unquote. Despite Founder 1's warning that the commentators would not be profitable to employ, on or about February 14th, Persona 1 told Founder 1 that, quote, we would love to move forward with Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, unquote. D. On or about February 17th, 2023, Founder 1 sent an email to Commentator 2 introducing Commentator 2 to Edward Gregorian, Persona 1, and Persona 2. The parties arranged a call between Commentator 2 and Gregorian, which took place on or about February 22nd. In scheduling the call, Commentator 2 requested that Gregorian call Commentator 2's cell phone. Instead, Persona 2 asked the call to take place on WhatsApp or Zoom. Both applications offered encrypted communications and the ability to place voice calls through their voice over IP technology, capable of obfuscating the physical location of the caller. E. On or about February 22nd, Founder 1 emailed Persona 1 that Founder 1 had spoken with Commentator 2, who was happy with the arranging of the licensing that was discussed on Commentator 2's call with Gregorian. Founder 1 continued, however, that Commentator 2, quote, would still like to know more about the company on who he will be working with, unquote. Founder 1 asked that they had assured Commentator 2 that as they finalized the contract and began working to put on the show and coordinate the launch, everyone would have time to get to know each other better and feel less like strangers. On or about February 28th, Founder 1 told in email Persona 1 that Founder 1 had spoken with Commentator 1, who would like some material about Mr. Gregorian to learn more about who they'd be working with. Founder 1 asked if there were any links, like press releases, interviews, LinkedIn profiles, and so forth, that they could forward to Commentator 1 about Gregorian. On or about March 2nd, Persona 1 responded to Founder 1's email, writing that Persona 1 was unsure that, quote, Mr. Gregorian gave out any public interviews, but you could send Commentator 1 our LinkedIn page, unquote, with a hyperlink to a LinkedIn page for Viewpoint Productions. Persona 1 also attached a receipt for another $8,000 money transfer from Czech Shell Entity 1 to Canadian Company 1. G. On or about April 21st, and again on the 24th of April, Founder 1 performed Google searches for Gregorian and for Bank 1, Edward Gregorian. As of in or about August 2024, neither Google searches return any results for a person by that name, much less any web pages describing an Edward Gregorian as a finance professional affiliated with Bank One. H. On or about April 24th, 2023, Founder One emailed Persona One that Commentator One, quote, was really insisting on seeing some materials, profile, article, whatever, on Edward before Commentator One feels comfortable moving forward. Is there anything we can provide them to work with? Unquote. Persona One responded that, quote, we'll send you a profile on Mr. Gregorian that you can send over to Commentator One, unquote. I. On or about May 4th, 2023, Persona One emailed Founder One the CV to provide Commentator One. The profile is reproduced with redactions and blurring as follows. J. Bank One's affiliate in the United States has no record of Edward Gregorian ever being employed by Bank One, nor, as set forth above, do Google searches for, quote, Bank One Edward Gregorian yield any results for a person by that name. Other irregularities in Founder One email correspondence further signaled that Gregorian and his purported representatives, Persona 1 through 3, were fake personas. For example, A. By-in on or about February 16, 2023, Persona 1 had misspelled the surname of his purported boss, Gregorian, with one N instead of two, in at least 4 separate emails to Founder 1. B. On or about February 10th, Persona 3 sent an email to potential influencer, copying Founder 1, and signed the email as Edward Gregorian rather than Persona 3. After the email recipient expressed confusion as to whether the sender was Edward Gregorian or Persona 3, Persona 3 quickly responded in part, quote, Edward forwarded his email to me and he asked me to replay it on his behalf, unquote. Digital forensic evidence further confirms that Gregorian and Persona 3 and Persona 2 and 1, the various investor personas, were, in truth and fact, the same individual. For example, on approximately 39 occasions between in or about November 2023 and in or about July 2024, email accounts used by Edward Gregorian and Persona 1 to communicate with Founder 1 were accessed from the same IP address at around the same time. As another example, on or about January 10th of 23, Persona 1 emailed the text of a draft email to Persona 2, which Persona 2 then pasted into a new email and sent to Founder 1 from Persona 2's email account. Founder 1 transmitted the Edward Gregorian profile to Commentator 1 to persuade Commentator 1 to work on behalf of Edward Gregorian. On or about May 12, 2023, Founder 1 reported to Persona 1 that Commentator 1 had a problem with the profile sent over, specifically the reference to social justice. Quote, I think it may be because that's usually a term used by liberals, but we're trying to create a conservative network, unquote. Founder 1 suggested that Commentator 1 and Edward could simply speak together to clarify the profile. On or about June 2nd, 2023, Gregorian circulated an email to Founder 1 and to Commentator 1's assistant, scheduling a Zoom meeting for the 5 p.m. Paris that day. In prior email correspondence, Founder 1 represented to another potential commentator that Gregorian was based in Paris. At approximately 8:58 a.m. Central Time that day, Gregorian replied to his other email, quote, I am there, guys, unquote. The time, in fact, was 3:58 p.m. in Paris, but it was 4:58 p.m. in Moscow. Approximately 2 minutes later, Gregorian performed a Google search for time in Paris. Gregorian then replied again to his email in part, sorry, wrong hour, didn't sync the calendar. After further negotiations, in which Founder 2 also participated, Founder 1 and the representatives of Gregorian secured contracts with the commentators. Specifically, A. Commentator 1's contract, which was between Commentator 1 and his production company, and U.S. Company 1, provided for 4 weekly videos to be hosted by the commentator and live-streamed by U.S. Company 1, in exchange for a monthly fee of $400,000 plus a $100,000 signing bonus and an additional performance bonus. Commentator 1's production company agreed that any and all content created under the agreement shall be the property of U.S. Company 1. B. Commentator 2's contract, which was between Commentator 2's production company and U.S. Company 1, provided for weekly videos to be hosted by the commentator and live-streamed by U.S. Company 1. In exchange for a fee of $100,000 per video, Commentator 2's production company granted U.S. Company 1 a, quote, non-exclusive, non-transferable license through the applicable license term to display, transmit, and distribute the licensed content, unquote. Founder 1 and Founder 2 negotiate the U.S. Company 1's contract with the Russians. In or about mid-2023, as Founder 1 worked to recruit Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 to perform on behalf of Gregorian, Founder 1 began negotiating an expanded role for Founder 1 and Founder 2 and U.S. Company 1 in their developing enterprise as set forth below. On or about March 31st, 2023, Persona 1 emailed Founder 1, quote, a draft of the new contract that we would like to offer, unquote. Persona 1 described the new contract as consisting of 2 stages, quote, the pre-talent staging, signing, where your scope of work is similar to now, and post-talent signing, which is after we sign Commentator 2 and Commentator 1 with your help, unquote. Persona 1 advised that quote, the scope of your work will grow substantially to include managing the channel in the post-talent signing phase, with new areas of responsibility and our new offered compensation, unquote. In a subsequent email on or about April 14th, Persona 1 informed Founder 1 that the management and marketing for the new platform's social media accounts would be, quote, done by Russian firm we agree to hire, but you will of course be the CEO and set the working standard and path for them to follow, and possibly you could hire a few more people from your side to further handle the operational side of things, unquote. On or about April 17th, Founder 1 replied in part that Founder 1 was, quote, happy to work with the Russian firm, unquote. As set forth below, this Russian firm consisted of Kostya and Elena, who later monitored and directed the U.S. Company 1's activity under the guise of an outside editing firm. Founder 2 worked closely with Founder 1 to negotiate their expanded business arrangement with Gregorian. For example, in private messages on Discord, on or about April 28th, Founder 2 messaged Founder 1 that, quote, they, i.e. the investors, also have full rights to the IP, and so if we grow the platform, we can still technically take it away, unquote. Founder 1 replied that the French clarified that, quote, we own the channel, but they own the rights to the content, and so in the event of a split, I think we would either need to pay them out for the rights or remove the videos, unquote. But that they would keep the company. That is, U.S. Company 1. Founder 2 also helped Founder 1 recruit additional commentators to work for the U.S. Company and Gregorian. For example, on or about May 22nd, 2023, they messaged each other and agreed that Founder 1 needed to send a prospectus for the company to a potential commentator, that commentator being Commentator 3. Founder 2 responded with proposed talking points for the prospectus and added, quote, though I think we should probably borrow some of Gregorian's language here, unquote. Commentator 3 later agreed to a work for U.S. Company 1. On or about May 12, 2023, Founder 1 sent an email to Persona 1 in which Founder 1 proposed that, quote, we keep the contract between us with my Canada company, Canadian Company 1, but for Commentator 2's contract, it will be through American subsidiary U.S. Company 1, unquote. In a subsequent email on or about May 19th, Founder 1 explained that they wished for, quote, my personal payment to be under Canadian Company 1, but the payments for the influencers go directly to U.S. Company 1, unquote. On or about June 3rd, 2023, consistent with Founder 1's proposal, Persona 1 emailed Founder 1 a final service agreement that named Founder 1, Canadian Company 1, and U.S. Company 1 as the service providers. The contract provided for a monthly fee of $8,000 for the first stage, a monthly fee of $25,000 per month for the second stage, after signing Commentator 1 and Commentator 2, and additional performance incentives and commissions for engagements closed with talent. The client named on the contract was neither Edward Gregorian, nor Hungarian Shell Entity 1, nor Czech Shell Entity 1, but rather an entity based in the UK Shell Entity 1, that has no website. After forwarding the contract to Founder 2 and discussing it with Founder 2 on Discord, Founder 1 signed the contract. Despite describing U.S. Company 1's investor to Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 as Edward Gregorian, a purported finance professional in Western Europe, Founder 1 and Founder 2 admitted to each other in their private communications that their investors were, in truth and in fact, the Russians, the same term that Founder 1 and Founder 2 previously used to refer to RT, while working directly under contract with RT, as described above. On or about May 27th, Founder 1 messaged Founder 2 on Discord, quote, I'm going to ask the Russians about hiring Producer 2 this coming week, unquote. Approximately 2 days later, Founder 1 messaged Producer 2 on Discord, quote, here is a list of responsibilities I sent over to the investors to approve bringing you on, waiting to hear back on timeline, salary, unquote. On or about August 8th, Persona 1 informed the founders in Discord that their request to hire a producer/booker, i.e. Producer 2, was approved. Founder 1 and Founder 2 await payment from Moscow. On or about May 31st, 2023, Kostya created a private Discord server, creating a channel initially comprised solely of Kostya, Founder 1, and Persona 1, the investor Discord channel. Kostya employed the Discord username Kostya_K, which includes a variant of his first name, Kostya, and the first initial of his last name, K. On approximately 38 occasions between in or about December of 23 and in or about January of 24, Kostya's Discord account was accessed from a Moscow-based IP address that was also used to access Kostya's personal Gmail account on approximately 10 occasions. On or about June 21st, 2023, Founder 2 joined the investor Discord channel, describing his role as mostly helping, quote, mostly helping with the company's back end of things, while Founder 1 focuses on the more forward-facing aspects, unquote. In the investor Discord channel, Founder 1, Founder 2, and Persona 1, purporting to act on behalf of Gregorian, discussed major decisions for U.S. Company 1, such as the hiring of staff, contract negotiations with contributors, including the two commentators, and payments to U.S. Company 1 and commentators. Kostya monitored and occasionally participated in those discussions. Founder 2 also used the investor Discord channel to, among other things, submit U.S. Company 1's invoices to Persona 1 and to press for payment of these invoices. For example, on or about September 11th, 2023, at approximately 8:07 p.m. Central Time, Founder 2 wrote in the investor Discord channel, quote, today marks 2 weeks since I submitted the invoice for August. Any idea of the delay? We are signing the large contracts and need to be certain that we will get the funding to pay these people, unquote. Persona 1 did not immediately respond. While awaiting a reply from Persona 1, Founder 1 searched for the then current time in Moscow. Specifically, at approximately 8:50 p.m. Central Time, on or about September 11th, Founder 1 searched on Google, time in Moscow. The time was, in fact, approximately 4:50 a.m. in Moscow. Approximately 3 days later, on or about September 14th, Founder 1 followed up in the investor Discord channel, writing, quote, "Hey, at Persona 1, just wanted to follow up and see if your finance department has any update on the transfers," unquote. Kostya and Elena begin operations at U.S. Company 1. As U.S. Company 1's prepared to launch in the fall of 2023, consistent with Persona 1's instruction to Founder 1 to work with the Russian firm that they agreed to hire, Founder 1 introduced Kostya to U.S. Company 1's employees and affiliates as an outside editor hired by U.S. Company 1's investor. In this role, Kostya monitored the U.S. Company 1 and its internal communications and edited content based on things published by U.S. Company 1, without disclosing that he was an RT employee. Kostya also introduced his fellow RT employee, Elena, to provide additional day-to-day direction to U.S. Company 1's employees and commentators as set forth as follows. On or about August 2nd, 2023, Founder 1 created a Discord server for use by U.S. Company 1's employees, associates, and contributors called the U.S. Company 1's Discord server hereafter. In the weeks that followed, Founder 1 subdivided the U.S. Company 1's Discord server into various Discord channels, including channels for individual contributors and their teams to discuss production-related matters, a channel to discuss pitches and story concepts, and channels for the production team to post videos for publication by U.S. Company 1. Founder 1 added Kostya to most of these Discord channels, typically introducing Kostya as an editor. For example, A. On or about August 7th, 2023, Founder 1 created a Discord channel for the production of videos by one of 6 commentators listed on U.S. Company 1's website, and told Commentator 4 that Kostya is heading up the editing team, so you and him can start to discuss how to get things working together, unquote. Through this channel on U.S. Company 1's Discord server, Kostya requested raw footage from Commentator 4 and later shared an edited version of Commentator 4's first video for U.S. Company 1. B. Kostya similarly participated in a Discord channel on the U.S. Company 1's Discord server for another commentator listed in U.S. Company 1's website, Commentator 5. Communications on that channel included, among other things, Kostya requesting raw footage from Commentator 5 and sharing an edited video. C. On or about November 9th, 2023, Founder 1 messaged Producer 2 on Discord in part that Edward hired Kostya's team. In other words, Gregorian had hired Kostya's purported editing team. On or about August 17th, 2023, Kostya informed Founder 1 that Kostya had added Elena Shudra, whom Kostya described as a member of their team, who would be coordinating the editing team, to the U.S. Company 1's Discord server. Sorry, that was a clunky sentence for me. A. Forensic evidence suggests that Elena Shudra was, in truth and fact, Kostya, an employee of RT. For example, the email account used to register the Elena Shudra Discord account bears a Russian web domain, and the email handle Afalena1997, which is composed of the first 3 letters of Elena's surname, AFA, a variant of Elena's first name, Elena, and Elena's birth year, 1997. Moreover, between in or about February 2024 and in or about March 2024, the Elena Shudra Discord account was accessed approximately 173 times from a Moscow-based IP address that was also used to access Elena's personal Gmail address on approximately 12 occasions. On approximately 163 occasions, that same IP address was also used to access Victoria Pesti's Discord account, which, as set forth below, was another fake persona used by Elena at US Company 1. I just remembered, I think the complaint has Elena Afanasyeva listed as Lena, so I'm going to try to stick with Lena, which is what they said they were going to call her in the document. For example, in communications on the US Company 1's Discord server, Helena Shudra solicited raw footage from and circulated edited videos for review by Commentator 4. After the public launch of US Company 1, however, Lena used the Helena Shudra persona and the Victoria Pesty persona to push RT messaging through US Company 1 and expand its viewership as set forth as follows. Lena steers US Company 1's marketing and messaging for RT. On or about November 1st, 2023, one of 6 commentators listed on US Company 1's website, Commentator 6, posted a video on YouTube announcing the launch of US Company 1. In the video, Commentator 6 explained that US Company 1 was a project of Founder 1 and Founder 2, who were trying to build a new platform for independent media, with an initial lineup of 6 content creators, namely Commentator 1 through Commentator 6. After the public launch of US Company 1, Lena, using her covert personas Helena Shudra and Victoria Pesty, aggressively advanced RT's investment in US Company 1 in at least 2 ways. First, Lena demanded that Founder 1 press US Company 1's hired commentators to share US Company 1's content with the commentators' pre-existing audiences, thus magnifying the impact of RT's messaging through US Company 1. For example, A. On or about February 16, 2024, Lena, as Helena Shudra, messaged Founder 1 on Discord, quote, I do worry that neither Commentator 3 nor Commentator 1 share any raw videos posted on X. Commentator 2 shared only 1 video this week. Commentator 4 didn't share any raw videos. She only used her mini-doc and its promo. Commentator 5 is good at sharing our content so far. Unquote. Lena then asked, quote, do you think it would be possible if Producer 1 could start posting videos a bit earlier? Unquote. Founder 1 explained that they would, quote, talk to Producer 1 about posting earlier, unquote, and did in fact do so. A few days later, Lena, as Helena Shudra, again messaged Founder 1, quote, is Producer 1 going to post things earlier? I think we need to post things earlier and ask the commentators' media managers to share raw videos with subtitles posted on US Company 1 X. At least 1 share per day, not one share per week, unquote. Founder 1 then replied that they, quote, asked Producer 1 to share at least once per day with the creators, unquote, but noted that the commentators were not contractually obligated to share US Company 1's content. Lena, as Helena Shudra, responded, quote, I know this is not an obligation, but we are falling behind with numbers and we need to make our best so creators can share 1 raw video per day at least for now, unquote. B. With Founder 1's assistance, Lena amplified her request that US Company 1's commentators promote US Company 1 content by repeating that request through a second fake persona, Victoria Pesty. On or about February 21st, 2024, Lena, as Helena Shudra, messaged Founder 1 on Discord, quote, please make invite for Victoria, referring to an invite, unquote, referring to an invitation for the new Victoria Pesty account to join the US Company 1's Discord server. After Founder 1 responded that Founder 1 had already sent the invitation yesterday, Lena, as Helena Shudra, replied, sorry, I thought you would send it for me here, unquote, thus implying that Lena was operating both the Helena Shudra and the Victoria Pesty accounts. Founder 1 then assured Lena that Founder 1 would, quote, intro Victoria to chat and restate the importance of social sharing, unquote. The next day, as promised, Founder 1 posted a message to US Company 1's Discord server, Introducing Victoria Pesty from our investors team. Elena, as Victoria Pesty, announced that, quote, "From now on, our top priority should be establishing U.S. Company One's social media presence, and we do ask you to start sharing U.S. Company One's posts through our own accounts daily," unquote. Second, with the founders' backing, Elena directed U.S. Company One staff to publish specific content that Elena identified. On or about January 15th, 2024, Founder One wrote in the channel on the U.S. Company One's Discord server, the producer Discord channel hereafter, comprised of Elena, Kostya, the founders, Producer 1, Producer 2, and Producer 3. Quote, "Helena is going to start creating customized videos for us to post our socials of viral content that's floating around," unquote. Between in or about January 2024 and in or about June 2024, Elena posted links to approximately 841 video clips, which were routinely posted by U.S. Company One staff onto U.S. Company One's social media channels. On occasion, U.S. Company One's staff privately contacted the founders to push back on Lena's content and were rebuffed. For example, A. On or about February 15, 2024, Lena, as Helena Shudra, shared with U.S. Company One a video of a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. Lena posted the video in the producer Discord channel. Later that day, Producer 1 privately messaged Founder 2 on Discord, quote, "They want me to post this," unquote, referencing the video that Lena had posted, but, quote, "It feels like overt shilling, unquote. Founder 2 replied that Founder 1 thinks that we should put it out there. Producer 1 acquiesced, responding, quote, "All right, I'll put it out tomorrow," unquote. B. As another example, on or about March 22nd, 2024, Lena, as Helena Shudra, shared in the producer Discord channel a video of the March 22nd terrorist attack on a music venue in Moscow, which killed approximately 145 people and injured hundreds more. Producer 1 privately messaged Founder 1, writing, quote, "I don't know if you saw it, but they want me to post some footage from an attack in Moscow today. There's a watermark in the middle of the page that's blurred, which looks bad, and it's also pretty graphic. You can see people getting shot, albeit from far away," unquote. Founder 1 did not push back on the content of the clip, but replied in the producer Discord channel, quote, "I'm not sure it's a good idea to blur out someone's watermark," unquote. Lena, as Helena Shudra, then assured the group that, quote, "It's fine, no worries, it falls under fair use," unquote. The producers found a clip of the attack without a watermark and posted it to X, satisfying Lena's request. C. The next day, on or about March 23rd, 2024, Lena, as Helena Shudra, privately messaged Founder 1 on Discord asking that, quote, "One of our creators records something about the Moscow terror attack," unquote. Despite public reporting that the foreign terrorist organization ISIS had claimed responsibility for the attack, Lena requested that the U.S. Company One blame Ukraine and the United States, writing, quote, "I think we can focus on the Ukraine/U.S. angle. The mainstream media spread fake news that ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack, yet ISIS never made such a statement. All terrorists are now detained while they were headed back to the border with Ukraine, which makes it more suspicious. Why do they want to go back to Ukraine and hide?" Unquote. Founder 1 responded that they would ask Commentator 3, and the next day confirmed that Commentator 3 said, quote, "He's happy to cover it," unquote. By in or about June 2024, Founder 1 authorized Lena and Kostya to post content directly on U.S. Company One's platform, bypassing U.S. Company One's employees altogether. Specifically, on or about June 12th, in a Discord message, Founder 1 informed Producer 1 that, going forward, Helena's team, that is, Elena and Kostya, would be posting their own videos directly to U.S. Company One social media accounts. Founder One therefore gave Elena and Kostya unfettered access to serve RT's messaging to U.S. Company One's audiences. U.S. Company One receives nearly $10 million from foreign shell entities. The founders profited from their unregistered services to Russia today. A. Starting in approximately August 2023, the founders typically submitted 2 invoices per month to Persona One on the Investor Discord channel. One invoice from U.S. Company One's expenses, such as its payments to its commentators, and another invoice for the founders' own fees and commissions. Between in or about August 23 and in or about June 2024, the founders invoiced UK Shell Entity 1 more than $9.3 million from U.S. Company One's expenses, which they were asked to be paid to U.S. Company One's bank account. Founder 1 and Founder 2 also invoiced UK Shell Entity 1 more than $760,000 for their own fees and commissions, some of which they asked to be paid to Canadian Company One's bank account in Canada, and some of which they asked to be paid to the U.S. Company One bank accounts in the United States. B. After the founders transmitted their monthly invoices to Persona One on the Investor Discord channel, Persona One typically acknowledged receipt and confirmed payment. Between in or about October of 23 and in or about August of 24, the U.S. Company One bank account received approximately 30 wire transfers from foreign entities totaling approximately $9.7 million. U.S. Company One dispersed most of these funds to its contracted commentators, including approximately $8.7 million to the production companies of Commentator 1, Commentator 2, and Commentator 3 alone. Consistent with Founder 1's February 8th warning to Persona 1, quote, "It would be very hard to recoup the costs for the likes of Commentator 1 and Commentator 2 based on ad revenue from web traffic or sponsors alone," unquote. And that's February 8th, 2023. U.S. Company One's foreign wire transfers far exceeded its receipts of advertising revenue. Instead, the approximately $9.7 million that U.S. Company One received from foreign wire transfers represented nearly 90% of all deposits into U.S. Company One and their bank account from in or about October 23 to in or about August of 24. U.S. Company One received its 30 inbound wire transfers from 7 foreign entities, none of which were U.S. Company One's contract counterparty, UK Shell Entity 1. 3 of the remitting entities, Turkish Shell Entity 1 through Turkish Shell Entity number 3, listed identical addresses at an office building in Istanbul, Turkey. 3 of the remitting entities, UAE Shell Entity 1, 2, and 3, listed different addresses in Dubai as a place in the United Arab Emirates. I don't know. And the last remitting entity, Mauritius, 3 of the remitting entities, Turkish Shell Entity 1 through Turkish Shell Entity 3, listed identical addresses at an office building in Istanbul, Turkey. 3 of the remitting entities, Turkish Shell Entity 1 through Turkish Shell Entity 3, listed identical addresses at an office building in Istanbul, Turkey. 3 of the remitting entities, UAE Shell Entity 1, 2, and 3, listed different addresses in Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah, United Arab Emirates. And the last remitting entity, Mauritius Shell Entity 1, listed an address in Mauritius. Of the 7 foreign entities, only UAE Shell Entity 1, UAE Shell Entity 2, and Mauritius Shell Entity 1 have websites. Like the website of Czech Shell Entity 1, the websites of UAE Shell Entity 1 and 2 and Mauritius Shell Entity 1 reflect seemingly odd and inconsistent information. For example, Mauritius Shell Entity 1 appears to maintain two websites using nearly identical domain names. One claims to supply agricultural products, and the other purports to be a digital marketing agency. As another example, the website of UAE Shell Entity 1 states, in part, quote, "Our company is always happy to create and implement new projects on the market. We are ready to provide a full range of services, from creating a project to bringing it to the world's top ratings," unquote. And the website of UAE Shell Entity 2 claims to provide a random array of services ranging from construction products to analysis of investment attractiveness to yacht consultancy, as well as the sale of textile products, electronic goods, and jewelry. The websites of UAE Shell Entity 1 and 2 and Mauritius Shell Entity 1 make no mention of Gregorian, UK Shell Entity 1, which is U.S. Company 1's purported contract counterparty, Persona 1, 2, or 3, Viewpoint Productions, Hungarian Shell Entity 1, or Czech Shell Entity 1. Contrary to U.S. Company 1's invoices, which reflect fees for staff and commentators as well as founders' commissions, the wire notes of many of U.S. Company 1's inbound wire transfers ascribe the payments to purchase of electronics. For example, the wire note for Turkish Shell Entity 1's $318,000 wire payment to U.S. Company 1 on March 1, 2024 reads, quote, "Buying goods invoice 013 iPhone 15 Pro max 512 gigabytes, unquote. To deliver funds into the U.S. Company 1's bank account, each of U.S. Company 1's 30 inbound international wire transfers, which totaled nearly $10 million, as set forth above, utilized a correspondent bank in Manhattan, New York. According to the records of the FARA unit, neither U.S. Company 1 nor Founder 1 nor Founder 2 has ever registered as a foreign agent with the Attorney General. Statutory allegations. Count 1. Conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. From at least in or about December of 22 through at least in or about September of 24 in the SDNY, Russia, and elsewhere, Kostya and Elena, defendants, and others known and unknown, knowingly and intentionally did combine, conspire, confederate, and agree, together and with each other, to commit an offense against the U.S., namely, to knowingly and willfully act and cause U.S. Company 1, Founder 1, and Founder 2 to act as agents of foreign principals without registering with the Attorney General in violation of Title 22 U.S. Code Sections 612 and 618. It was a part and an object of the conspiracy that Kostya and Elena, the defendants, and others known and unknown, would and did knowingly and willfully act to cause U.S. Company 1, Founder 1, and Founder 2 to act as agents of foreign principals without registering with the AG as required by law in violation of Title 22. Same codes. Overt acts. In furtherance of the conspiracy and to effect the illegal object thereof, Kostya and Elena, the defendants, others known and unknown, committed the following overt acts, among others, in the SDNY and elsewhere. A. In or about August 23, Kostya and Elena to the U.S. Company 1 Discord server. B. In or about 2024, Elena circulated to U.S. Company 1 staff approximately 841 video clips, which were routinely posted onto U.S. Company 1's social media channels. C. In or about August of 24, Founder 1 authorized Elena and Kostya to post content directly on U.S. Company 1's platform. D. Between in or about October of 23 and in or about August of 24, members of the conspiracy caused U.S. Company 1 to receive approximately 30 international wire transfers from foreign shell entities in furtherance of the conspiracy, each of which was processed by a correspondent bank in the SDNY. Title 18, U.S. Code 3, Section 371. Count 2, conspiracy to commit money laundering. The grand jury further charges the allegations contained in paragraphs 1 through 44 of this indictment are incorporated as though fully set forth herein. From at least in or about December of 22 through at least in or about September of 24 in the SDNY, Russia and elsewhere, Kostya and Elena, the defendants, and others known and unknown, willfully and knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to commit money laundering in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1956. It was a part and an object of the conspiracy that Kostya and Elena, the defendants, and others known and unknown, would and did transport, transmit, and transfer and attempt to transport, transmit, and transfer a monetary instrument and funds from a place in the U.S. and through a place outside the U.S. and to a place inside the U.S., from and through a place outside the U.S., with the intent to promote the carrying on of specified unlawful activity, namely, felony violations of the FARA Act in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1956. Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1956. All right. Forfeiture allegations. As a result of committing the offense alleged in Count 1 of this indictment, Kostya and Elena, the defendants, shall forfeit to the U.S., pursuant to Title 18 U.S. Code Section 981 and Title 18 U.S. Code Section 2461, any and all property, real and personal, that constitutes or is derived from proceedings traceable to the commission of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. As a result of committing the offense alleged in Count 2 of this indictment, Kostya and Elena, the defendants, shall forfeit to the United States, pursuant to Title 18 U.S. Code Section 982, any and all property, real and unreal, involved in said offense, or any property traceable to such property, including but not limited to a sum of money in U.S. currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense. Substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property, as a result of any act or omission of the defendants, A, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, B, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, C, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, D, has been substantially diminished in value, or E, has been commingled with any other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty. It is the intent of the United States, pursuant to Title 21 U.S. Code 853 and Title 28 U.S. Code Section 2461, to seek forfeiture of any property of the defendants up to the value of the above forfeitable property. And it's Title 18, Title 21, Title 28 of United States Code, and signed by Damian Williams, United States Attorney. And that does it for today's video on Tenet Media. Thank you for hanging in there all the way to the end of this. I really appreciate your support and the support of the channel. I'm surprised at it. I'm surprised at the growth it's had in the days since I created it. It's not millions or anything crazy, but it's a modest, healthy growth, and I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. I look forward to reading more materials for you, and until next time, stay safe.